Hi everyone. Let's start the class with Supta Baddha Konasana. Take a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you might use 2 blocks to lie over. That's a possibility. I'll show you that in a moment. So you're taking a bolster. Your blanket comes off the shelf looking like this. You can use any blanket that you have at home, but make it about that shape. Fold it into 3 at the end of the bolster. It's great if you have a belt. If you don't worry too much. But if you have a belt, you'll make a big loop of your belt. Sit down in front of your bolster. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees apart. Take that big loop around the torso, around the top of the hips, between the knees. So make sure it's between the knees and around your feet, and then tighten it up. You can see I'm just pulling the strap up to tighten it up. If you're tight through the groins, have the feet further forwards away from the pubic bone. If your groins are more open, you can bring the heels back towards the pubic bone and then lie back over your bolster for Baddha Konasana this way. Take a few deep, long breaths. Draw the mind in, draw the mind back to the periphery of your mat. Notice how the mind wanders into all sorts of thinking, all sorts of ideas, plans for later, thoughts about yesterday. And just become aware that the only moment to really be in is this moment. It's the only one you can be sure of, this very moment. So settle the mind in this moment without judgment, noticing the rise of the belly with the inhalation, the fall of the belly with the exhalation. Each time the mind wanders, bring the mind back. Let the mind settle in the present moment. And then bring the hands to the floor. Lift the back chest to the front chest to come up. The head comes up last. Undo your belt. Remove your belt. And come into forward virasana. Bring the big toes to touch. The knees distance apart. Walk the hands forwards as though you're pacing out like a lion, like a leopard. Lengthening through your side ribs as you reach the hands forwards. Keep the head up, looking beyond the tips of your fingers. Glue the hands to your mat and then lengthen your buttocks back towards your heels. Draw your buttocks back towards your heels and bring your forehead down. Let the elbows resist up and the shoulders, shoulder blades resist down, press down. And then walk the hands in and inhale and come up. I'm going to ask you to come up onto all fours, tuck your toes under and come up to standing. Let's start with Urdhva Hastasana. So stand with the outer edges of your feet parallel with the outer edges of the mat. Lengthen the buttocks down. Lift from just above the pubic bone so that you're not dropping everything forwards, but you're connecting the core from front to back. Buttocks move down from just above the pubic bone, move up without gripping your buttocks forwards. It's more of a lengthening here. And then you can raise the arms up into Urdhva Hastasana. As I raise the arms up, I'm not pushing forwards. Bring the weight back into the heels. Press your front thighs back. And extend up through the arms, extend up through your side ribs. Deep inward, deep outward breath. And then exhale and take the arms down. Urdhva Hastasana again. This time turn the palms out, deep inhalation. As you raise the arms up, gather the ribs up as you raise the arms. Exhale to come down. Turn the palms out, inhale and go up. Exhale to come down. Turn the palms out, inhale to go up. Exhale to go down. Turn the palms out, inhale to go up. Side ribs lifting. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation, and come down once more. Inhale, gather the ribs up. Lift from your side waist all the way up through your ribs into your fingertips. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation, and release. Take the arms all the way down. From there, you're going to come into half dog. So bring your hands to waist height. Take the hands shoulder width apart to the wall and step back. Downward facing dog. Push the wall away. Lift up through the fronts of the legs and the backs of the legs and push the wall away. Keep your belly lifted towards your spine. Create as long a top of your box shape as you push the wall away. Keep your ears in line with your upper arms. And as you lift up through the backs of the legs, feel as though you're creating, the highest side of your box. The box shape that you're making with the wall and the floor and your body. Bend the knees and step up. You're going to take your mat to the wall so that you can press these 2 points, your thumb and your forefinger, to the wall. Come onto your knees, sit back on your heels. Place the thumb and the forefinger to the wall. Come onto all fours, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Now bend your knees slightly, just about 30 degrees, so that you can press the wall away and bring the upper back, the upper thoracic spine in, away from the wall. Elongate the arms up into the shoulders. Feel like there's a telescoping of the arms up into the shoulders. Keep the knees bent for the time being, and then let the crown of the head descend. Bend the knees to the floor, forward virasana. Take a few breaths there. Come in again, come onto all fours. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Keep the knees slightly bent. Move the upper thoracic spine in. Let the head descend. And then from there, keeping the chest where it is, press your thighs back. Bring your thigh bones to the back of your legs, into your hamstrings. Press your thighs back, the top thighs as much as you can. And then for those of you who can, you could just send the heels. Hold, deep inward, deep outward breath. Walk the hands back in towards your feet. Now, either you can hold onto your shin bones and look forwards. If your hamstrings are tight, you can't get your hands on the floor without bending your knees. Or if you can go a little further, you can take the hands to the floor and release the head down. Push the legs towards the feet as you come down. And then from there, lift the head up. Lift the belly towards the spine, bring the hands on the hips, push the legs towards the feet to come up. Okay, then I go into half handstand and handstand. So depending on where you are at with these poses, let's go into half handstand first. Let's start actually by coming into a plank pose. So come into downward facing dog. Heels down, heels up, it doesn't matter so much. And then from there, separate the hands so they're as wide as your mat and come into plank pose. So notice I'm moving my feet back so I find the distance for my spine. My shoulders are over the wrists. I'm lifting the lower belly up, the front thighs up. But most importantly for this, I'm pushing the floor away. Really pushing the floor away. Lift the hips to go into downward facing dog. Step the hands back towards the feet. Bring the hands onto the hips and come up. So when I go into handstand, I want to push the floor away, both with half handstand and kicking up. So we'll go into half handstand first. Measure your distance by taking the feet to the wall with the legs outstretched. Make an imaginary line behind your buttock bones. Turn around to place the heels of the hands on that line. Lift your hips up and step your feet up to the height of your hips so that you're in half handstand. Now, if that's really difficult, take the feet up a little bit. So if you're tight through the hamstrings and you can't hold that, take the feet up. Otherwise, the feet are in line with the hips. The most important thing here is to push the floor away. Be really active through your arms. Push the floor away. And step down. Hang forwards when you step down. Don't come right down to the floor. Fold the arms and hang forwards. If that's too much for your back, you could hold on to your shin bones. Otherwise, you're hanging forwards. Bring your hands onto your hips. Inhale and come up. From there, you're going to kick up into handstand. Now, some of you like to use a bolster, and that's absolutely fine. If you're a bit worried about your head there, you could use a bolster so you feel a little bit safer. Take whatever you need. Yep. Otherwise, you're going to take your hands about a finger's length away from the wall. If you have your fingers too close to the wall, it's hard to get up and stay up. As you push up away from the floor, decide which leg you're going to go up with and keep that leg straight. So I'm here, my hands are on the floor, push the floor away, feel that same action as you did for plank pose, push the floor away. This is leg I'm going to go up with, and I'm going to keep this leg absolutely straight as I go up. That will take me up then. From there, I'm going to push the floor away, climb my feet up the wall. Deep inward, deep outward breath. Lift from the back of the body to go up. Lift from the back of the body to go up. 10 breaths if you can. Elongate the arms up into the shoulders. Hold the outer shoulder blades in towards your spine. And from there, with that straight leg again, step down. Now, I'd just like to add one thing. Those of you who are just learning this and are still getting your courage, and the feet don't stay up the wall, take a safe chair, and I really encourage you to be safe. You can place the hands down and simply, whoops, not like that, simply step your feet up onto the chair seat. So my shoulders are still over my hands, my arms are vertical, I'm pushing the floor away, but my feet are up. So it's up to you which one you want to do. Try the different ones, but start to get used to taking your feet off the floor and your hands strongly on the floor, your arms strongly on the floor. From there, we're going to go into forearm balance. So when you do forearm balance, just check that you have skin on the floor, not material, so it doesn't slide. You're going to measure your belt to this inner shoulder joint. Here, it's a little wide for me, here. And you've got your block. So my belt is going to come just above my elbows. It's probably just about right for me, maybe a little tight actually. Let's make that a little looser here. And then from there, whoops, I'm going to take the block between my palms so that my hands are squeezing the block, and you can see my fingers overreach the block. So I don't want the block to be right against the wall. My fingertips will be against the wall here. And my wrists are down firmly. So my hands are coming down. My wrists are down. I'm squeezing the block with my hands, lifting my hips up. Now from there, you could stay there and take 5 breaths. Or you can take one leg up and the other leg up. We could all do that. So as a preparation, and down, and rest down for a moment. So either you can do that again, raising one leg up, raising the other leg up. Just something I'd like to show you. The tendency as you lift up is for the chest to move forwards of the elbows. You want to keep the shoulders over the elbows, not here, but back here. Then you can walk the feet in. One leg is straight and goes up. Once more, I'm really making the legs very strong to lift my buttocks towards my heels and lift the backs of my legs up. My head is not down, it's not touching the block. It's back away from the block and higher than the block. Slide the heels up to get higher and higher and taller through the upper arms and shoulders. And then step down. Come into forward virasana, take the belt off, move the block to one side, come into forward virasana. And inhale and come up. Come all the way up to standing. Just take everything off your mat so your gear is to one side. Do a couple of standing poses. Bring the feet together, big toes touching. We're going to work on taking the top chest and the head back in standing poses. Press your top thighs back. Feel as though you're standing on all 4 corners of your feet. Lift your top chest up. Take the hands to the center of the chest and bend the knees. Now, if you are injured or you're in your cycle, or you're just not, you're exhausted today, don't jump, step. Otherwise, hands to the center of the chest, bend the knees and jump the feet to leg lengths apart. Trikonasana distance, extend through your fingers. Turn the toes of your left foot in, your whole right leg out 90 degrees. Raise the arms slightly to lift the ribs. Inhale as you exhale, reach out over your right leg. Take your right hand down wherever you can reach. Don't over stretch. So what I mean by that is, just in order to get the hand down, there are all sorts of things that happen here, this and yeah, all sorts of ways. Rather hold the leg and check that your torso is aligned over your leg. So rather than taking the hand really low and bringing the head forwards and the buttocks back, bring the shoulders back, bring the head back. So as you turn your gaze, see if you can see that outer right ankle. Yeah, now I can see it. My shoulders, my head are positioned correctly, so that now I can press my right buttock forwards, right shoulder forwards, turn the left shoulder back and extend the top arm up to the ceiling. Deep inward, deep outward breath. Top arm reaching up. Press into your back foot, inhale and come up. Turn your feet to the center. Toes of your right foot in about 10 degrees, hold left leg out 90 degrees. Left heel in line with the center of your back foot. Raise your arms, exhale and reach out over your left leg. Once more, don't just feel like you have to come down really far. The most important thing is that the torso is aligned over the left leg. Press the left buttock forwards, take the shoulders back, take the head back. Can you see that outer left ankle? So hold the torso in that position and then start to turn the left side of the chest forwards and up. Turn the belly towards the right, extend the top arm towards the ceiling. Deep inward, deep outward breath. Find the breath. Press into your back foot, inhale and come up. Turn the feet to the center and jump back. Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, extend the fingertips down towards the floor. Pajvakonasana with the full arm variation. So it's up to you here if you want to take a block to the back right-hand side of your mat. You might find a block on its second height works well for you. Or you can take the hand to the floor. It's up to you. Roll the shoulders back. Take the hands to the center of the chest, bend the knees and lightly jump the feet wide. Turn the toes of your left foot in, your whole right leg out 90 degrees. Right heel in line with the center of your back foot. Inhale as you exhale, bend your right knee. Sit your right buttock down. Reach over your right leg and bring your right hand down. So it might be onto the block, it might be to the floor, fingertips cupped this way, hand cupped. Press the right knee into the right upper arm. Take the head back. Can you see the outer right ankle? Yeah. Position your torso there. And then press your right buttock forwards. Turn your right back ribs down towards the floor. Raise the left arm to the vertical. From there, reach back through your left leg. Turn the left palm over the line of the ear and extend away from the left leg. Deep inward, deep outward breath. Turn the chest towards the left upper arm. Raise the left arm. Inhale and come up. Turn your feet to the center. You might want to take your block with you if you need it. Turn the toes of your right foot in about 10 degrees, the whole left leg out 90 degrees. Keep the arms extended. Inhale as you exhale, bend the left knee. Sit the left buttock down. Reach over your left leg. Take your hand down. Press your left buttock forwards. Turn your left waist forwards. Turn the right shoulder back. Raise the top arm to the vertical. Turn the palm over the line of your ear and extend the right arm away. Raise the right arm up, come up. Turn the feet to the center and jump back. Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back. Lift your top chest up. Press the front thighs back. Uttanasana. Separate your feet so your feet are hip distance apart, with the outer edges of your feet parallel with the outer edges of the mat. Raise the arms to hold the elbows. Exhale to fold forwards. Release the torso down. Push the legs in towards the feet or down towards the feet as you release forwards. Let the spine release towards the crown of the head. And then from there, bring the hands onto the hips, push the legs towards the feet, and inhale and come all the way up. I'm going to work into warrior one. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Take the hands to the center of the chest, bend the knees and jump the feet wide. Bring the hands onto your hips. Turn your whole right leg out 90 degrees. Come onto the ball of the left foot and turn the left heel out and bring the heel, left heel down. Now, you may not keep the heel on the floor as you bend your front knee, but start to turn forwards from this outer left thigh. The greater trochanter, this bony outcrop at the top of your left thigh, turn it forwards, turn it forwards. So it's almost like you've got a whole circular movement happening through this left buttock to bring it forwards. That in a way is the challenge of this pose. Inhale, bring your hands onto your hips and exhale and take the right knee down. Inhale and straighten the right knee. Exhale and sit the buttock down. Inhale and come up and exhale and sit the buttock down. If you need to let the back heel come off, let it come off. Exhale, go down. Inhale and come up. Exhale and go down. Keep turning from the top of the outer left thigh. Turn it forwards, greater trochanter forwards. Now reach back through the left leg so the knee is straight and extend the arms up. Deep inward, deep outward breath as you reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale to come up. Bring the hands onto the hips. Turn the feet to the center. Turn the whole left leg out 90 degrees. Come onto the ball of the right foot and turn the heel out. So essentially the toes of the back foot turn in about 70 degrees. Otherwise it's impossible to get this right hip forwards, this back hip forwards. Now, from the top of your right thigh, turn forwards. From the greater trochanter, turn forwards. Inhale. As you exhale, sit the left buttock down really quite quickly. You're going quite quickly with this. Inhale to come up, exhale to go down. Inhale to come up, send the buttocks towards the left knee and go down. Inhale to come up, buttocks towards the left knee and go down. Now turn forwards from the top of the right thigh, the greater trochanter, and raise the arms. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation as you raise the arms. Inhale to come up, turn the feet to the center and jump the feet back. Tadasana. Roll the shoulders back. Let the breath settle. Let the heartbeat settle, heart rate. So from there, we're going to come into Parsvottanasana. It's a narrower pose. And you're going to come into Paschimma Namaskar. I'll show you first of all. So let's do the arm movement first of all. Extend the right arm out at shoulder height and swing the hand in. And do that a number of times, maybe 4 times. And each time try and get the hand higher up the spine. And then from there, take hold of the right elbow with the left hand and draw the right elbow in towards the midline here. Roll the shoulder back and press the elbow forwards. Shoulder back and elbow forwards. And extend that arm out. Repeat with the left side. Reach the arm out to the side and swing 4 times. Again, cut that left elbow with the right hand to draw the elbow in towards the midline. Roll the shoulder back, left shoulder back, press the left elbow forwards. Deep inward, deep outward breath. Just hold it there, breathe. Let all these muscles, the pecs, subclavius, all of these muscles here start to stretch and open. And then release. All right. From there, I have my back to you again. Come into Paschimma Namaskar. Palms together, fingers pointing down, turn in and up. Press the palms from the little finger side of your hand all the way to the index finger. And then from there, step the feet apart. Turn the whole right leg out 90 degrees and turn the toes of the left foot in 70 degrees. Now, if it's impossible for you to get into this position with your arms, simply hold on to your elbows and roll the shoulders back. Otherwise, the palms can come in. You might not have your hands quite so high. Maybe they're a bit lower. That's okay. Maybe the hands come apart a bit. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. Now, from there, press the little finger side of your hand into your spine. Press your spine forwards and up and curl your spine over your hands. Lean into your back leg and look up. And then exhale. You're going to fold forwards over your right leg. As you go forwards, turn the left buttock forwards and down towards the floor. Come halfway. Pull the hips back towards your back heel. The hips go back, the pelvis goes back so that the torso can go forwards. Once your hips are with your legs, you hold them there like downward facing dog, then lengthen forwards from the navel to the pubis, from the pubis to the collarbones. Press into your back foot, inhale and come up. Turn the feet to the center. Turn the whole left foot out 90 degrees. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Turn the toes in 70 degrees. Anchor your back heel. Anchor the base of your left big toe. So glue your left big toe into the floor. Will stop you wobbling. From there, press the little finger side of your hand forwards into your spine and up towards your skull and curl over your hands as you lean into your back leg. And then exhale, fold forwards from your hips, turning your right buttock down towards the floor. Now, pull your hips back towards your back leg. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but here my hips are going forwards. Everything's in my front leg. Here my hips have come back and I have less strain through my front leg and I feel less heavy in my front leg. From there, if I hold my hips back, then I can start to lengthen my torso forwards. And press into your back heel, inhale and come up. Turn the feet to the center. Reach the arms out to the sides. And step or jump the feet back to Tadasana, this way. And take a moment there. So we're going to go into a few back arches, not too many. So So I'd like you to take a blanket, and I would suggest you fold that blanket into two. If you're very tight in the quads, fold it into three, not into two. And you'll take that blanket to the wall. From there, you're going to bend your right knee, take the right knee close to the wall with the foot up the wall, and step the left foot forwards so that you are in a warrior one leg with the front leg and a quadricep stretch with your back leg. If you're very tight through the quads, let the knee come a bit further forwards that way. Yeah. If this is incredibly hard on your toes, then you could work a little bit differently. And I'll show you. So if it's the toes that are the issue, probably good to hang a blanket over the chair seat, but you could work this way so that, you know, it's not so hard on your toes, and you can even hold onto the chair. And remember, it doesn't have to be a yoga chair, it can be any sort of chair, just a stable one. Lengthen up through your right leg, right thigh. See if you can drop your outer left thigh down towards the floor. Take your right thigh back towards your shin bone, back towards the wall, hands to the wall. And release. Go to the other side. Press the left thigh back to the wall, the left thigh back to the shin. Now you'll notice this is up on me. So I'm going to try and elongate up through my quad and drop that outer hip down, if I can. There. And of course, if you're really tight through the quads, you could just have a much higher blanket underneath your left knee. Just experiment with that. And release. Just go to the other side again. Right knee up, shin bone back. Maybe this time you can bring the knee back a bit further. Once more, elongate up through the front of your right thigh, but also I find drawing this outer thigh into the hip socket allows me to lift that right thigh bone up and then drop the outer left hip down. Breathe with it, smile with it. Strong, I know. Release and go to the other side. Drop the outer right hip down, elongate up through the left thigh back against the shin or the calf, and exhale and release. So from there, we're going to go into Supta Virasana. So I'd like to take you through it. If it's impossible for you, I would say if you've had disc issues in the past, I wouldn't say that that's drawn in stone, but you just have to see how you go. If you're very short in the quads, this can be a challenge, this pose. So the simplest way to do it is with a bolster, folding your blanket onto the edge of the bolster, coming into kneeling. I am kneeling with my buttocks between my heels. I'm not sitting on my heels. My feet are not underneath my buttocks. My buttocks are down. I've got the bolster slightly back away from my pelvis. There's just a little bit of space there. And then I'm going to, so I feel that the edge of the bolster is actually underneath my back waist. And then I'm laying down into Supta Virasana this way. Don't let the knees splay out. Keep the knees squeezing towards each other. If that is much too strong for your back and your quads, and depending on how much gear you've got, you could, for instance, take this up, because you've probably got 2 blocks, I would imagine. So let's go up much higher there. Of course, you know, if you've got 2 bolsters, but I find that unlikely, you could use 2 bolsters, one on top of the other this way. But the blocks often just give you that little bit of a lift. And if you find it impossible to sit down between your heels, take another blanket. Fold this one a little bit better. So you might have just a 2-fold or a 3-fold maybe this way. You can have it here, so that as I sit, it's underneath my buttocks. I don't need to go down quite so low. And, you know, my bolster's much higher. The more I lift the head, actually, the easier this pose is. So experiment with lifting the head. Yeah, this way. And then up. So we'll just stay in it for a couple of minutes. If it's impossible for your back, then go back to the previous pose that we did with the quad stretches. Yeah, so do the quad stretches, because you'll find the quad stretches will help you get more into this. And obviously this can be as high as you like, so that, you know, you can lift it on blocks. You can have a number of blankets stacked up. There are all sorts of ways that you can do this, but perhaps try those few options. All right, support yourselves, come up and go forwards. Quadricep. Just release your back, feel how it feels after that. If it feels sort of tight and compressed or a bit sharp, just feel that. Start to sort of really release your buttocks towards your heels to lengthen yourselves out of that. So I'm going to get you to come and lie on your belly. Take a block, please. So I'm going to have a block underneath my forehead here. I think I've got some space there, yep. My feet are hip distance apart. I'm broadening the buttocks. So I really want to broaden the buttocks, not grip them. Doesn't mean they're not working, but I'm not gripping and narrowing, broadening the buttocks there. Press the pubic bone down. Press the outer hips down to keep the buttocks broad. Then I'm going to clasp my fingers behind my back, lift the hands up away from my buttocks, then lift the head up, the chest up, and extend the arms back and look forwards with the chest. Really work the legs back strongly. Let the arms hold the chest back. And inhale and come down. Bring the hands forwards and rest down. Once more there. Clasp the fingers behind you, palms facing towards the head. Lift the arms up. Reach the arms back strongly. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Press the pubic bone down and lift the head up. And again, use the arms to take you back. Lift the chest. Extend the arms. And inhale and come down. Remove your block. Place one hand on top of the other. And rest your forehead down. Danurasana. You're going to bend up your left knee. Whoops, let's say right. Bend up your right knee. Hold on to your ankle and draw the heel towards the buttock. Don't force the knee. Let it be a lengthening of the quad. So you might lift the knee up slightly, lengthen the quad and bring the knee down. And release. Go to the other side. Lift the knee up, lengthen the knee or lengthen the thigh along the floor and then bring the knee down. And then release. Go to the other side again. Just hold onto the ankle, lift the leg up, lengthen the thigh towards the knee. And then from there, come up onto your forearm. Come up onto your left forearm, press your right foot back into your hand to lift your chest up. And all the way down, release. Come to the other side, bring the forearm across your mat, bend up your left knee, take hold of your ankle, lift your chest up. Now press the foot into the hand to lift the chest even more. So you can feel where the lift comes from. And release, come down and rest for a moment. So from there, you're going to take that block again, gives you a tiny little bit of a lift. Block underneath the forehead. Take hold of the left ankle and the right ankle. So you know where you're going with this. Press your pubis down, lift your knees up, your shins up, and the chest up. The legs go right up, and they take the chest back. Roll the shoulders back. And release. Come down. Put the block to one side. Last time. Bring the forehead down this time. Take hold of the ankles. Don't let the knees go wide. Bring the knees towards each other. So the first thing you do is to start to lift the knees up. Then lift the chest up. Take the shin bones high. And let the feet pull the arms back to lift the chest. And come down and rest. One hand on top of the other. Rest forwards. Bring the hands underneath the line of the shoulders. Press the buttocks back towards the heels. To forward virasana. Go very slowly here. Really, you're trying to iron out the creases of the lower back after the back bends. So slowly release the buttocks to the heels, slowly come forwards so that you start to allow the spine to go in the opposite direction into a forward bend. Now from there, you're going to come into Pajva virasana. So you'll walk the hands around to your right, hands shoulder width apart, pull the left buttock towards the left heel as you extend out. Come back to the center. Take the hands the opposite side. Bring the forehead down. Come back to the center. Walk the hands in. From there, tuck your toes under. Have your feet as wide as your mat. And start to release the torso down. Take your left hand to the outside of your right calf. Take your right hand wide out to the right and draw your left ribs down towards the right leg. It's a sideways movement, it's not a twist. Both legs are straight. Don't force anything. You're just trying to lengthen and open your left side waist, ribs, and so on. Come back to the center and go to the other side. Right hand to the outside of the ankle or shin, wherever you can reach, and then draw your torso across towards the left leg. And then come back to the center, release down. And then bend the knees and slowly come all the way up to standing. You're going to finish with your calves on the seat of a chair. Take your chair. Take a two-fold blanket. Make sure that you're warm. So that you are going to lie on your back. With your calves on the seat of the chair. Arms down beside you, palms facing up towards the ceiling. Let the skin on the cheek soften. Let the forehead skin be soft. Release the skin on the temples. Release the skin on the nose, down towards the cheeks. Release the skin on the cheeks, down towards the ears. Release the skin on the back of the neck and across the tops of the shoulders. Let the skin on the buttocks spread away from the center, away from the tailbone. Let the skin on the waist spread. And then bend up the elbows, let the hands rest on the navel band. If you like, you could spend longer in Shavasana, you don't have to come up now. Roll over onto your right or left side, whichever you've got room. And bring yourselves up to sitting. And come and sit cross-legged. The palms together for namaste. And to the forehead on the heart. Bowing your head to your heart, to your wisdom and compassion. And release your hands down and raise your head up. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a lovely day.